Hi guys.
Hi.
How's everything?
Good.
I said that in a very Forrest Gump way. I apologize. Hi guys. He doesn't really even sound like that. But anyway.
The beginning is always the hardest part.
Right? Like, what do you say? Because, like, I mean, for me, like, I'm also a fan, so it's kind of like, what should I start out as saying? Thanks for playing 2 songs for me in a vacated office building. Or, no, I guess here's what I want to ask you, because almost like right out of the gate, and it's probably not so, obviously, as a band you can tell me what the fuck are you talking about, but it seems like right out of the gate, you guys have been critically acclaimed, like the second the album came out.
Oh.
Is it totally not the case?
No. That's so not the case.
I want you to tell me that.
True. That or no.
I don't know. I'm happy that we've been at it this long.
That's,
yeah, totally.
I want to hear about it, because I mean, maybe just for me, as they found me. Just from my perspective, and maybe it's just kind of like the tipping point thing too. Maybe that's what I'm reacting to. But talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, we've been a band for about 6 years.
Okay.
And no, I mean, we first of all, I feel like we took a really long time to find our sound and figure out what kind of band we wanted to be.
Yeah.
I feel like we started out like sounding, Spencer calls it Starbucks core, but like, and I feel like it just took us a while to really like find our footing, and it was just funny because none of us like listened to that kind of music. I think like I don't know, I think we just didn't know what to do with ourselves or where to start, and then and then we released, I feel like Soft Serve was the first like thing that we released back in 2013 that was like the first thing that really sounded like what we sound like now, more or less. And that definitely was not critically acclaimed out of the gate. We in fact, like it was like one of those things where it's like, I mean, I don't think we were even noticed. I think we were just excited that we were putting out
anything at all.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like weird because we released it and nobody cared. And then about a year and a half later, all of a sudden, people said, "Oh, this saucer thing! Oh wow!" And we were like,
"Well, this has been out for like a year."
But
yeah, that was really funny. But yeah, no, I mean, I remember trying to get press, like trying to get like track premieres or whatever for that EP, and just like nothing. And then it wasn't even a year. It was actually like 4 or 5 months later. It was like whatever, weirdly somehow someone found it, and then like Twitter, whatever, people were like, "Oh, it's great." We're like, "Oh, thanks." Whatever you say. Cool. Yeah, it's fun.
But I guess what I meant though was like this particular record though.
Yeah.
It seems like right from the release of this record, like right out of the gate, it was a lot of positive stuff real quick, right?
Yeah, we feel super fortunate, and like I think because we have that perspective because of the 5 years that we spent kind of not being able to pay anyone to listen to our music. I think we're still kind of in disbelief, and I mean, it's been a really cool thing
And I
to
think
see.
like because we had to wait so long, we really we worked so hard on this record. Like we spent 3 years writing it and recorded it twice and rewrote a lot of it over and over and over. And I feel like so I don't know. It's like we feel super lucky that it's been as well received as it has been. It's crazy.
So I mean, listen, a common theme is like that you're 90s alt rock throwback, blah blah blah. And I'll be perfectly honest, I was a huge like Letters to Cleo fan. So I totally, and maybe that's why I gravitated toward you guys. I don't know. And I just had them on A side, so that was awesome too. Yeah, but when did the album come out?
April.
Was it April?
All
right.
Yeah.
So maybe like it was also fresh on my mind, right? But what were you guys like listening to kind of, was it like a conscious thing, or do you just kind of, it's not like, and maybe I'm wrong, because music these days is everything sounds the same, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, unless you look for it and then it doesn't. But you can't really go into a studio and be like, I want to sound exactly like Weezer, or I want to sound like this vibe.
No, I feel like we kind of really didn't. In fact, like, all of us have like pretty different tastes in music, or like at least when we were first coming into the band, I feel like we didn't all agree on like one thing. I feel like it's kind of just a product of like what are the elements in music that the 4 of us can all agree on, like, which I think is like, I think we're all really excited by like really hooky melodies and like really loud guitars. And like right there, that's like, that just happens to kind of be like,
Exist very prominently
in the 90s, yeah. And
it's not like we got together and we're like, let's start a 90s rock band.
Yeah, because I mean, it's really impossible. I mean, listen, if I want to say one band that probably went into the studio and was like, I want to be a 90s band, it's Weezer. And they did it with their last album, you know what I mean? They probably, like if you think about it, but like any other band, you know, who wasn't in that scene or whatever, no matter what decade, it's not like, you know, Tame Impala goes and they want to be a 70s band,
Exactly.
you know?
yeah, but it's cool. And I mean, I think it's just really interesting, like how the stuff like that you hear growing up and that's exciting to you, like when you're like whatever, like I don't know, for me it was like Sam introduced me to Weezer, and like I don't know, just like how all that like seeps into your consciousness. Like Sam is my older brother, so he introduced me to Weezer when I was like 6 or 7 or whatever, but like it's funny how that
I grew up in show tunes. You're so fortunate.
Well,
I mean, show tunes is fine, but if it's not an isolated thing, it would be nice if it was like more. Like
what's your favorite musical?
My favorite musical, that's tough. I would say Les Mis.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, but then like I just saw Evan Hansen last week, and then I was like, all right, so that was awesome.
That's awesome.
But like I'm not like a Broadway kid or anything. I just like grew up where my dad just played Broadway music and Billy Joel, and that was it. And my older sister was top 40, and it wasn't until like I was in high school where it was like, oh shit, I can have my own mind? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I can like listen to music that I actually like and don't have to just go along with everything.
Yeah.
So
Totally. We actually have a moment in our family where, like Weezer for me was the band that like I was like, oh my god, this is my band, because I found it's the first band outside of like, you know, what our parents showed us or our brothers, but our parents always, you know, were playing classic rock and, you know, Rolling Stones and Beatles, Led Zeppelin, all stuff. And there was just this moment, I can't remember how old I was, but we were listening to stuff, and I just like stood up, and I was kind of shy growing up, and I just was like, I have to say something. And everyone looks up at their dinner, and I just go, I fucking hate classic rock. And my mom, I was scared what they were gonna say. My mom was like, yeah, go say it. I'm like, it was very funny. It was very
Nice.
cute. But, yeah.
it's so nice though, like when you actually get to that period where like, you know,
Yeah.
not to totally, this is like turning into a therapy session, but like,
exactly.
but like, isn't it?
Just refine it.
But isn't it nice, like, where you actually get to that point where you actually can be inspired by like artists and stuff like that?
Totally.
Yeah, and have like musical autonomy. Like it's so cool. It's such a cool.
It just opens
It
up.
sounds like so cliched for me. It was Nirvana, because like I remember literally the same day that I got the single, because I'll show my age and it's fine. But like I got the single to "Smells Like Teen Spirit" on the same day I got the single to "Tears in Heaven" from Eric Clapton.
wow.
That's the same day. So like,
Wild.
so doesn't that like tell you like where like your brain is actually going towards? So,
Totally.
anyways,
That's interesting.
but enough about me and my old age and singles. So talk to me about immediate plans, because I know that you guys have been touring a bit, and you just released a record, and I'll be the dick who asks you when the next one comes out.
Yeah. We just got back from tour, and right now we're just super focused on writing the next one. I feel like we're like I said earlier, like it took us like 3 years to write that last one. So some of the songs we've been playing live for 3 years, and I feel like we're really at that point where we're like, let's write more. And, so that's what we're doing this summer, and I don't know.
September is going to be really cool. We're going to the UK for the first time.
Sweet.
Which is super exciting. You know. Mostly writing for the summer.
We're playing some festivals mostly around like the Midwest, right? Chicago, and California as well.
Well, the one thing that, you know, jumping back to the whole 90s sound stuff, the one thing that I'll say, like lyrically, it's just a breath of fresh air for you guys. Like really, especially like our country's kind of fucked. So it's actually really nice to be inspired by music that actually makes you feel good. So
Wow, that really
really
means a
nice.
lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna leave on that note.
Aw.
And thanks guys.
Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Yeah.